My name is Nicole. I am 30 years old. Since I was a child, I liked fashion and beauty. I liked trying new creams, perfumes, and makeup. I liked when people said I looked nice. When I finished school, I worked in a store that sold clothes and perfume. I was a sales clerk. My job was simple, but I liked talking to people. I liked helping women choose what made them feel beautiful. Still, I wanted more from life. I wanted to have my own business. After a few years, I started to think about how many people buy things online. I saw that people used social media to sell products. I watched many videos where women showed how to use makeup and creams. I thought, maybe I can do that too. I decided to try. I took some money from my savings. I bought some products and made a small page online. I named it Shine by Nicole. At first it was small. Only my friends followed me. I posted pictures of perfumes and makeup. I wrote small messages about feeling good and taking care of yourself. After a few months, my page started to grow. More people followed me. They asked questions about the products. Some bought them. I packed the orders at night and sent them in the morning. I was happy. I worked hard, but it was my dream. Every time someone sent me a message saying, "Thank you, I love this cream," I smiled. My page was growing fast, and soon I made more money than at the store. One day, I decided to leave my job and work for myself full-time. It was a big decision, but I felt ready. When I started to work full-time, I used more social media. I made accounts on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I also used Pinterest because I loved pictures. I shared photos of new products every day. I showed how to use them. I also talked about food, fitness, and health. I wanted women to feel good, not only to look good. My followers liked that. They started to call me inspiration. Some of them even sent me letters and small gifts. I felt loved. I thought, maybe I am doing something important. I began to post more photos of myself too. I took pictures in nice clothes with makeup and perfume. People liked those posts more than anything else. I got hundreds of likes and many comments. I felt proud, but also a bit scared. I started to spend more time taking pictures than talking to real people. I woke up early to take good photos in the light. I checked my phone every few minutes. If a post got fewer likes, I felt sad. I told myself it did not matter, but it did. I began to care too much about my online life. My business was doing very well. I had many new customers. I started to work with other small brands. I even met a few people who wanted to be my business partners. They said I could make more money if I worked harder and posted more. I agreed. I wanted to grow my brand, so I started to post 3 times a day. I also began to use filters on my photos. I made my skin look smoother and my hair shinier. I did not think it was wrong because everyone did it. One evening, I was with my best friend Clara. She said, "Nicole, you are always on your phone. You don't talk to me anymore." I laughed and said, "I am just working. You know, it's my business." She smiled but looked a bit sad. "I miss how we used to talk," she said. I felt bad for a moment, but I told myself it was normal. I was busy and she should understand. Still, her words stayed in my mind for a while. My family was happy for me. My mother said, You did it, Nicole. You built your own business. I smiled, but my father looked worried. Don't forget to rest, he said. I told him not to worry. I said I was fine. But deep down, I knew I was tired. I worked every day from morning to night. I checked messages, replied to comments, packed boxes, and made new posts. I did not sleep much. My eyes hurt from looking at the screen too long. But when I saw new followers, I felt excited again. One night, I looked at my old pictures on the phone. In those pictures, I was in the store where I worked before. I was smiling with my coworkers. I looked happy, even without perfect makeup. I thought about those times. My life was simple, but I felt calm. Now, I had more money and more people who followed me, but I felt something different. I could not understand it clearly. I had everything I wanted, yet I felt a small space inside me that nothing could fill. I shook my head and said to myself, "You're just tired. You need rest." So, I planned a short trip to the beach. I thought it would help me relax. I took many pictures there too. The sea was beautiful, and I wanted to share it with my followers. But when I looked at the pictures, I did not like them. I thought my face looked tired. I took more photos. I smiled wider, changed my hair, and put on lipstick again. I spent the whole day trying to get one perfect picture. At night, I realized I did not even swim or walk on the beach. I was only looking at my phone. I felt silly. I wanted to rest, but I was working again. When I came back home, I opened my social media and saw hundreds of likes on my beach photo. People wrote, "You look amazing," and "I wish I was you." I smiled at first, but then I thought, they don't know that I was tired and sad that day. I closed my phone and sat quietly for a while. I began to think about my life before I started this online world. I missed talking to real people. I missed laughing with my friends. I missed not thinking about how I looked every minute. Still, I didn't stop. I told myself I could handle it. I made new goals. I wanted to reach 100,000 followers by the end of the year. I worked even harder. I posted about beauty and health every day. I told women to feel good and love themselves. But sometimes, when I looked at my own face in the mirror, I did not feel that way. I did not feel beautiful or strong. I was tired, and I didn't know why. One night, I received a message from a young girl named Sophie. She wrote, "Nicole, you make me feel brave. I want to be like you." I smiled, but my heart felt heavy. I wanted to tell her that I was not as perfect as she thought. I wanted to say that my life was not always easy, but I didn't. I just replied, "Thank you, Sophie. Believe in yourself." Then I put my phone down and sat on my bed. For the first time, I asked myself, who am I when I am not online? Before I continue rest of the story, please like, subscribe, share, and tell me where you are listening from. Your support means a lot to me. Now let's continue. After that night, I thought about Sophie's message many times. It was a simple message, but it made me think about my life. I said to myself, people see my posts every day. They think I am always happy, but they don't really know me. I looked at my phone again and saw many comments. Some people said nice things, but a few people wrote bad ones. They said my skin looked fake or my smile looked forced. I knew I should not care, but I did. I read those comments again and again. They made me feel small. The next morning, I woke up early and looked at my face in the mirror. My eyes looked tired. My hair was messy. I did not feel beautiful. I took my phone and started to take pictures. I used makeup and filters. I smiled again and again until I liked one picture. Then I posted it online. A few minutes later, people started to like it. They wrote, "You are perfect," and "You are goals." My sadness slowly faded, but only for a short time. Soon, I wanted to post again. I started to spend more time on my phone. I checked my page every hour. I watched the number of likes go up. If the number was low, I felt nervous. If the number was high, I felt better. My life was now on the screen. I posted pictures of food, flowers, and new products. I smiled in every photo. I said nice words in every post. But behind the camera, I was tired. Sometimes I forgot to eat because I was too busy answering messages. Sometimes I fell asleep with my phone in my hand. One day, I was in a meeting with 2 new business partners. They were from another city. They liked my brand and wanted to work with me. We met in a small cafe. They were friendly and kind. They said, "Nicole, your page is amazing. You look perfect in every photo." I smiled and thanked them. They said, "We want to grow your brand together, but we think you should show more of yourself. Post more personal photos, share your home, your family, your daily life." I said I would think about it, but inside, I felt unsure. I liked sharing my business, but not my private life. Still, I wanted to grow, so I agreed. I started to post more about my life. I showed my home, my morning coffee, my small garden. I also shared pictures with my parents and my friend Clara. People liked them even more. They said, "We love to see your life." My followers grew fast again. I had more messages and more orders. I should have been happy, but I felt something strange. My life did not feel like my own anymore. Every simple thing became content for my page. When I cooked dinner, I took photos. When I went for a walk, I filmed a short video. Everything I did was for my followers. One evening, I wanted to go out with Clara. She invited me to a movie. I said yes, but when I was getting ready, I stopped to take a photo of my dress. Then I took another one. I wanted it to look perfect. I changed my earrings and took more photos. By the time I finished, I was late. I ran to the cinema, but the movie had already started. Clara looked at me and said, "Nicole, you missed half of it." I smiled and said, "Sorry, I was busy." She did not say anything, but I saw the sadness in her eyes. That night, when I got home, I sat on the bed. My phone was full of messages and likes on the photo I had posted. People said, "You look amazing." But I did not feel amazing. I felt empty. I thought about Clara's face. She was my best friend, and now I hardly saw her. I missed talking to her. I missed the days when we could sit and laugh without taking pictures. A few days later, I went to visit my parents. My mother cooked my favorite food. She looked happy to see me. My father said, "We don't see you much these days." I said, "I'm sorry. I'm working hard." My mother smiled and said, "Work is good, but don't forget to live." I laughed and said, "Of course not, Mom." But when I looked at my phone later, I realized she was right. My life was full of pictures, but I was not really living it. One afternoon, I had a big online event. I had to show new products live. Many people were watching. I was nervous. I smiled, talked, and showed each item. Everything looked good on camera. When the event ended, I checked the comments. Most people were happy, but one person wrote, "You look fake now. You used to be real." That comment stayed in my mind. I told myself not to care, but I kept thinking about it. I looked at my old videos and saw how simple they were. I looked natural and happy. Now, everything looked perfect, but not real. That night, I could not sleep. I lay in bed and thought about my life. I asked myself, when did I stop being me? I remembered the first days of my small business. I was excited and full of hope. I wanted to help women feel confident. Now, I only wanted to look perfect. I did not even know what confidence meant anymore. The next day, I went out without makeup for the first time in months. I wore simple clothes and no perfume. I just wanted to walk and feel the air. Some people looked at me, but I did not care. I felt calm. When I got home, I looked at my phone. I wanted to post a picture, but I stopped. I did not take any photos that day. I smiled to myself. It felt good to enjoy a moment without showing it to anyone. Still, it was hard to change. Every day, I fought the need to check my phone. I told myself to take breaks, but my hand always reached for it. I tried to spend time with my family. I went to help my mother in the garden. She told me stories and we laughed. I did not post about it. I wanted it to be just for us. Weeks passed, and I started to feel better. I still worked online, but I posted less. I began to talk about simple beauty, not perfect beauty. I told my followers to care for their health and rest. I shared pictures of flowers, books, and home meals. Some people left my page because they wanted perfect photos, but new people came who liked my simple style. I was not as popular as before, but I was more at peace. One evening, I got a message from Sophie again. She wrote, "Nicole, I like your new posts. You look happy." I smiled and replied, "Thank you. I am." For the first time, I really meant those words. After that message from Sophie, I sat on my bed and thought about everything that had happened. My life was so different now. My business was still running, but I worked slower. I was not chasing likes or followers anymore. I wanted my work to mean something real. I wanted to feel proud again, not only look good on a screen. I started each morning with calm music. I drank tea and watched the sun. I stopped taking photos of my breakfast. I did not check my phone right after waking up. I waited until I finished my morning walk. At first it was hard, but each day it became easier. I started to enjoy small things again. I listened to the birds. I looked at the trees. I felt peaceful. When I posted online now, I shared simple things. I talked about life, about feeling good inside. I told my followers that beauty was not only about skin or hair, it was also about kindness and peace. Many people wrote to me, saying my words helped them. Some women said they stopped using filters. Others said they started walking more or spending time with their families. I felt happy. I thought, maybe this is what I wanted from the start. My business changed too. I started a new part on my page called Natural Nicole. I showed real photos, no filters. I shared how to take care of your skin with easy and healthy ways. I talked about drinking water, sleeping enough, and smiling more. I said, you don't need to be perfect to be beautiful. At first, I was scared people would not like it, but many did. They said they felt free when they saw my posts. I felt free too. One weekend, Clara called me. She said, do you want to go for a walk near the lake? I said yes at once. I wore simple clothes and went to meet her. The sky was blue and the air was soft. We walked and talked for hours. We laughed like before. I did not take a single photo. I just wanted to enjoy our time. When the sun started to go down, Clara said, it feels good to have you back, Nicole. I smiled. It feels good to be back, I said. That evening when I came home, I looked at my phone. There were many messages, but I did not feel the need to answer right away. I put the phone down and made tea. I thought about the last few years. I had changed my whole life for likes and comments. I had forgotten my real self. But now, I was learning to live again. One day, I received an email from a small group of young women who studied business. They said they followed me for a long time. They asked if I could visit their school and talk about my work. I said yes. A week later, I went to meet them. They were all smiling and excited. I told them my story, how I started, how I grew, and how I lost myself for a while. I said, success is not only about money or followers. Success is also about peace, balance, and honesty. They listened quietly. Some wrote notes. After the talk, one girl said, you helped me see that it's okay to be real. Her words made me happy. After that, I started doing small talks for women in my city. I spoke about building dreams, working hard, and taking care of your heart. I said that beauty is not only what others see. It is also how we feel when no one is watching. Every time I finished talking, I saw smiles and sometimes tears. I knew I was doing something right. My parents were proud of me. My mother said, you look different now. You look peaceful. My father said, I always knew you would find your way. I thanked them both. I finally felt proud, not just for my success, but for being honest with myself. A few months later, I was sitting by the window with a cup of tea. I watched the rain fall. My phone was on the table, but I didn't touch it. I thought about the past, the long nights, the endless pictures, the fake smiles. I did not hate those times because they helped me learn. But I was happy they were behind me. I smiled softly and whispered, I'm fine now. I still use social media for my work. I still post about beauty and products. But I post real things. I show my natural face. I talk about good days and bad days. Some people leave, but new people come. They stay because they see truth, not perfection. I do not need thousands of likes anymore. I need peace, kindness, and meaning. Sometimes I get messages from girls like Sophie. They say, "Nicole, your story helps me." I always reply, "Thank you. You can do it too. Just be yourself." Those messages remind me why I started my journey in the first place. My life is quiet now, but full. I have my family, my friends, and my work. I still love beauty, but I know now that real beauty starts inside. It is not from a bottle or a filter. It is from a calm heart and a kind smile. One evening, Clara came over for dinner. We cooked together and talked. She looked at me and said, "You really changed, Nicole." I smiled and said, "Yes, but I think this is who I was always meant to be." We laughed, and it felt easy again. That night, after she left, I sat on my bed and opened my phone. I looked at my latest post. A simple photo of my desk with a small flower. It had fewer likes than before, but I didn't mind. One comment said, "Your page makes me feel calm." I smiled. That one comment was enough. I turned off the light and closed my eyes. My mind was quiet. For the first time in a long time, I felt no rush, no fear, and no need to be seen. I felt peace. That was the real beauty I had been looking for all along. Thank you for listening to this story. If you enjoyed this story, please like the video and subscribe to English Medium Stories. Stay with us for more classic stories in easy English.